What's up, everyone? Welcome to another edition of Tarun's Thoughts. My name's Tarun Shetty. These are my thoughts. Hope you guys are doing well. Happy Labor Day weekend. Do I get to celebrate Labor Day even though I haven't had a job in like 7 years or something? I mean, I tell jokes, but that counts. You know, I'm going to celebrate it too. I used to have a joke in my act, and I was like, oh, everyone's celebrating their 3-day weekend. I'm currently celebrating my 5,000th day weekend. Every day is exactly the same. But no, I hope you guys are doing festive things, hanging out with friends. Maybe you're just smoking pot by yourself. I don't know. This is my final 2 hours in Florida. I got to board a flight to LA. I'm only going to go for 2 weeks. Like when I was in LA, I would just go to auditions. I'd go to my print modeling jobs. I would do stand-up. And you get in this routine. And out here, I'm like doing this comedy routine. Right? And I was like, this cannot be it. I've got to be growing out here in Florida too. But it's so easy to just fall into these like complacency traps. You know that comedian Chris D'Elia? I'm not friends with him at all. But I see him at comedy clubs when I was in LA, and he had this great video he made years ago. And he was like, when people ask me to do things, I just say, no, I'm good. I like my life. I mean, he was at the top of his game. He was in every major club in LA. But I was like, once you find something that works for you, why change it? Like, why fix it if it's not broke? So sometimes when I'm in Florida, I'm like, well, I can just adapt here. I don't need friends. I don't need a relationship. I can hang out here with my dad and drink coffee and, live in my misery. That works for me to some extent. I mean, it's my natural temperament. But that's why I'm going to LA. I was like, I have to just break out of this, and I have to just keep pushing my projects forward because it's easy. When I started doing comedy in Boston, you'd see these comedians, like, again, no disrespect at all. But a lot of these comedians, killers on stage, Steve Sweeney, like Don Gavin, like these old school Boston headliners, and they would come in and murder the room. And I'd always ask people, I'm like, how come these guys aren't in LA or New York? Like, how come they're in Boston? Like, I want to go to New York and LA. I want to see what else is out there, but these guys never left. And someone said, I don't know if this is true or not, but they were like, they like being the big fish in a small pond. And I'm in Florida now, and I see a lot of big fishes in a small pond. Like, to go to LA sounds ridiculous. It sounds scary as hell. Again, I lived in LA for years and years, and it's scary for me too. Having to go back there and, be ignored at the Comedy Store, and, there are these TikTok influencers on stage now, and nobody really respects you. It doesn't matter how good you are on stage, what you've done. You have to be there and put in your time to make a name for yourself. So, I don't know. I'm just saying, I'm not ready to give up. I'm hoping that the things I do here in Florida sets up a domino effect where I can keep working in LA. If it doesn't, that's okay. I gave it my best. Whenever I go to a comedy show in Florida, I'll always see these younger comedians going up, and they're okay on stage. But sometimes I'll see a comedian who just has a fantastic look. By look, I mean, when I was doing commercials, a lot of commercials, I'd be like, they cast you based on kind of how unique you are. You see African American girls with light skin, curly hair. Those girls work all the time for some reason. I mean, not to be racist here, but you see them in Wendy's commercials, and it's crazy how Hollywood says they're not racist, but they cast a certain type. Ethnic Indian guys. Hollywood loves that, especially if you have an accent. I mean, let's be real here. I was talking to a comedian friend of mine, and look at all the comedians right now who have real authentic accents. Aiko Tanaka, that Auntie Nagra Indian chick, Ronnie Chang. Hollywood loves real ethnic people. But I'll just see these comedians, and I'm like, man, you have a great look. You should definitely go to LA. And they get excited, and I see them getting excited in their eyes, But then I see them get a little scared, right? And they're like, oh, really? Well, what's that like? I'm like, it's going to be hard the first couple years, but I was like, you should go out and just give it a shot if you want to be an actor. I was like, I can definitely see you getting commercial work, especially like when you're young and you're diverse. I'm always encouraging young actors or comedians to go out and take their shot. Like, I think it's tragic if you're a young comedian and you never try. If you never try, and then again, who the fuck am I to say anything? Maybe I'm ruining their life. Maybe they're better off here in Florida. But I just can't help it. I've got to tell them, take your shot. To make that jump, to break out of complacency, takes incredible courage. And look, I'm not going to fault anybody. You live your life. Let the chips fall where they may. That's a quote from Desi OC. And, I'm going to go back myself and see what I can muster up. Maybe nothing. I don't know. Really, the reason why I'm going is my mom told me, she was like, you have to go back to LA. She told me that. She goes, you have to go back to LA and finish your stuff. And I haven't left yet. So I was like, well, I can go for 2 weeks and just feel it out. And, I'll come back. I hope you guys have a great holiday weekend. Thanks for listening. Take care.